This is your host, Diet for Professionals. Your anchor here, Ikechukwu Nduku. I welcome you to this edition of Diet for Professionals broadcast. Our focus today is professionals and networking. Of course, we're going to be narrowing to that topic, how to build a transformational network. It is very important that you as a professional to know that networking will aid your, like somebody will say, to the promised land, your profession or your career or business to the promised land. There are so many things you will not be able to achieve if you are not involved in networking directly or indirectly. Of course, when we talk about networking, we're talking about people. So if you are not connected to people, you will not be able to achieve your dreams in totality. I don't want to overflow on that. We're going to go straight to the topic, how to build a transformational network. Let's read that text from the Bible, Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Of course, it is likened like this. If people are involved or connected to a network, so it looks as if it's like a cord. They are in a thing that is binding them together. So, even if you are networked to two people, it's still strong, it's harder to break in. How much more a threefold cord? Now, of course, when we now talk about threefold cord, what will we say when you are in a network or a cord that is having more than 100 people who have the same like mind, who wants to do things who have interest that is binding them together? Because the fundamental reason why people enter a network is because of what? Similar interest. Now you see, networks are built primarily maybe on different notes. Some might be childhood networks. Sometimes people, they still want to continue their childhood friendship. Maybe primarily to, still continue that bonding, number one. Then if whatever any of them is doing, if one of them is succeeding on the other part, they cannot help each other. So continuing that relation, because relationships are very, very good. It helps you to, reach your dream, especially if you have good ones. So some people still continue that childhood network. So apart from that too, there are some networks too, maybe they are academical. Some has passed through the same academical institution and they want to still continue that network because they feel they can still, be, useful to each other, maybe socially. So that social networking, they want to maximize it. Now you can still see things like career networks. So you see, maybe like, association of engineers. If you are an engineer, so you belong to one and you get involved in such career networks, and latest things that are happening, even people who have gone ahead of you can learn from them, and a whole lot of things. Even business networks, just like you have the businessman fellowship, have gone that very far and now still did other things and brought in transformation. Because you see, one of the reasons why people don't succeed in their career might not necessarily because they didn't get trained or they are competent. Sometimes too, they need transformation. Sometimes some of them might have their upbringing and background and where they grew up from. So some attitudes, some way of thinking, the way they live their lifestyle. So, but when you now come into such networks, you see people who are still succeeding, you emulate them, but somehow they rub off their, value system and transformation occurs. So, you can still see people who are in religious networks. They want to go far in ministry and all that, and they have that kind of network that will help to, a kind of ginger them, stimulate them, motivate them to do more and reach out and fulfill their ministry. So, but practically, networks are so good in the sense that, it said one shall chase 1,000, but two shall chase what? 10,000. So, networking with other people, you will get more better results than what only you can get. We will just go briefly into the importance of networking, or getting involved in transformational network. One of them is success. So even if you have not started succeeding, when you see other people succeeding, it will motivate you to want to succeed. Then apart from that, some people might have gone ahead of you, and there might be some other little shortcomings you are having in your career. You have access to people who firsthand are already doing well in their career, so you can ask them questions and they'll guide you. There's like one of my mentors will say things like, a mentorship, because when you are in all these transformational networks, you see people who are ahead of you, they can now rather become your mentor. So what mentors do is that they transfer skill. You can go and read up things from a book, but just meeting a mentor, it can clear 10 years of struggles for you. You shorten the journey for you. So it encourages success. Another thing networking does is what? Social networking. Social networking. You meet people. You meet people. You meet people. When you meet people, people are valuable capital. Someone said, like our adage in our native place where we came from, he said, anybody who has human being is richer than someone who has physical cash. So you see that social networking. The other thing it encourages is personal development. Personal development, because you learn a lot under that such kind of network. Because sometimes they open door for trainings that will help to upgrade their members. And the other part there is financial support. People can easily entrust money into your hands if they see you as a member of their network. At least they can identify with you. You can't see someone on the street and start giving them money. But the good thing about it is that you see someone with the same like mind, and you know that if you could do a little financial support to this person, it can be better. And people even have access to you to tell you their dreams and what they want to do in their career and business. So you can now decide that, wow, if this person can do this, he has access to me, and I've seen him for a while, he's been around with us in this network, I can at least help out. So this is it, financial support. Then the other part is governance and dominion. What some of these networks does is that you will meet captains of industries who now come together, because at the individual level they are doing well, but networking helps to fulfill the principle of governance. You don't govern alone as an individual, you govern with a group of people. So when people work individually on themselves, pursue their dreams on their own and all that, they will not be involved in governance. But when people come into network, they go beyond their personal success and start discussing about their immediate society and see what they can do with their place of influence to transform their society. So under networking, like transformational networks, they cannot bring up issues of the day that has to do with the society, and they use their influence to influence things that are happening and get involved in governance. Now the other part there is what? Protection. You see, you being alone, things chasing you might not be able to handle it. But when you are networked with other people who have other things that can provide succor and protection for you, so networking can provide what? Protection. And finally there is leadership building ground. So you see, for you to amount to leadership, you will see definitely, because most leaders are involved in powerful networks. It helps to what? Leadership is a lonely road. So sometimes too, in order not to be too lonely, they get themselves involved in networks so that at least they can rub off and rub minds together and discuss their challenges, because you can't discuss your challenges with the people who are following you. They will get discouraged. But when you meet your fellow leaders, you can discuss that, and someone who has experienced similar things like that can provide what? Solution that can help you as a leader. Now we're going to be looking proper into the principles on how to build a transformational network. For you to be a network that will transform people and transform the society where people live, it has to be intentional. One of the first things that you will look at there is what? Is to build is to catch a transformational vision for people and your society in entirety. So you see, if you catch a transformational vision, don't just bring people together without a vision. I've been involved in some networks. I get very bored because you see, you cannot gather people without showing them where they are going. Because what? Like the Bible will rightly say, it said what? Without vision, the people cast off restraint. That's, the people are no longer disciplined. They no longer have any restraint, anything discipline them on constraining them not to do what they shouldn't do. So anything goes. But if there is a vision, because vision unites people. So when you bring a transformational vision and paint it, this is what this network is meant to achieve. When people know that, they get involved, they get excited because they have a place they are going. The other part there is what? In building a transformational, network is build a guiding rule or constitution that can, accommodate people's dreams. You see, the truth is that if there are no rules in a network, anybody can do anything. But the rules put everybody on check. But the fact now there is what? Whatever rules that you are building, let it what? Be big enough to accommodate people's dreams. A lot of people have dreams. A lot of people have visions. A lot of people have things they want to achieve in life. But you see, when they enter a network, can that network be an umbrella that will help them to achieve their goal or dreams in life? So these are some of the things people look at. So when you build a transformational network like that, you must build it in such a way that it will be an umbrella that will accommodate people's dreams and vision, whether in their career, whether it's religious vision, whether it's personal thing, whether it has to do with leadership and whatever thing it is. So and apart from that too, it also accommodates the the dream of building a healthy society. Then the other part there is what? Build exclusive individualism and synergy among the members of the network. You don't constrain people. People must not be like every other person. Let people be the way they are. If you are a pastor or a religious leader and you want to be part of a network, allow him, respect that is that part of him, his profession and that thing he's doing. If the other person is a medical doctor, respect it. Don't turn everybody to start behaving like an engineer because you are trying to make all of us function in a network that is engineering oriented. No, everybody should be themselves, individual, exclusively individual, yet build synergy. So it has to be a network that, apart from respecting people's individualism, but you also what? Utilizes all those uniqueness to achieve a common goal. Then the fourth one is what? Empower members of your network. Empower members of your network. Don't just build a network where people will come and start showing us how rich they are or how powerful they are. No, you see, the reason for building a network is to provide a ladder so that everybody can climb. So whoever that is not doing well, because you look at your members and look at what and so you create a platform or a network that can help people climb up. Because what is the use of joining a network when you still remain the way you are? But when you join a network, if people are ahead of you, they can give you a ladder to climb up to come to where they are. Because one good thing about it is that if everybody is doing well in a network, when people face some challenges who are already doing well before, the other ones become a succor. But if only one person is doing well and he start having issues, can the ones that are already down help him to come up? They are already down, so he will come down and come and join them down. Sometimes some people will say something like, don't hang around people who are lower than you. I don't believe in that. Don't hang around people who are lower than you. You need to hang around people who are ahead of you or at your class. Wow, people can join a network and might be a bit lower, but you see what the vision of that network also provide room to help people come up. So as more people are coming up, it becomes transformational. Then the other part there is what? The fifth one is said, get committed to their personal development. So you see, it's still linked to this, the fourth thing I said about empowering them. Because in empowering them, you can get them jobs, you can get them opportunities, you can even give them contacts for big businesses and contracts. But in doing that, you know that people cannot do such big things if they are not, then they are still the way they are. So if a network is opening door for personal development, where people, if you have not learned skill, for example, you've not done amazing web services, and people who have done that are making millions of money, getting money online and getting money online, you can now link them where you did your amazing web services. You can even go as far as helping them to pay if the network provides such platform where they can now raise money for people who now wants to upgrade their upskill and get better. So when they upskill like that, they start earning at the same capacity where those people who are already at that level are earning. So you see that you have showed them a ladder to come up to where you are. And of course, you see there's this the adage they say, there's how they put it, that there's overtaking is allowed. Someone that you are ahead of can overtake you. If someone feels that if he hangs around people who are down and they will all bring him down, I don't believe that. I read a story about one powerful book, I think the greatest entrepreneurs in Africa. That book changed my life. A young man who, not really rich though, but not poor though. So he had poor friends, then he also has rich friends. So what he did was that he did a very, very powerful principle that, is so wonderful. I cannot forget that principle. What he did was that the poor friends were saying, wow, if we have this opportunity to access money, wow, we're going to do a wonderful business and, we'll get better. They say, are you sure? He said, but we don't have people who can give us this money. So, but this guy, they keep, bombarding him with all these issues about they really need money to, upscale what they are doing. So he now talked to his rich friends and, told them that he has some of these friends that, they wouldn't mind if they have access to, money and they have you. And on that note, they now told him, the rich guys, they said, we are not going to give anybody money. All these guys are crazy guys. They will take your money and run away. So, but they said, if you give, as long as we give you and you short it for them, we will give it. We are sure that you are going to bring it back to us. And with that trust, they gave the money out. Do you know that this guy, I discovered that after he started doing this to so many of his friends, all his friends moved up and now started having enough money. And, some of them overtook him. And, they now, because of friendship, they say, okay, let's be paying a little dividend. And from there, that's how the guy started a bank. You see that? So everybody came up because they helped each other. The other part there is what? Utilize the network to make positive policies to govern your society. So you have captains of industry, make in such a way that you utilize those captains of industries to still impact the society at large. Then the other part, develop a regulatory system to checkmate the activities of the members. So there has to be rules that is guiding rules. Then the other part there is what? Lay the foundation of that network on truth. So let it be on truth. Let it be on white paper. So let it be on a very clear term. Let there not be anything that is dubious there. Let everybody have equal right. Let everybody have equal access, and let it be built on truth. Then finally, build it as a network of safety. So if you see people who are in danger, or probably who are in trouble rather, in your network, let it be that you have built a network of succor, so that when people are in such kind of issue, the network can be able to rally around them. That is it for network building on how to build a transformational network that can transform any society. This is Diet for Professionals broadcast, and your anchor is still Ikechukwu Nduku. See you next time. Don't forget that if you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe and share to others so that they can have access to this information. Thank you for listening. See you next time.